Hey, if you're looking for a big 5-channel with a ton of power and that sounds good, you want to know what's in this box. Stay tuned. Hey, it's Big Jeff with another unboxing. This way you can see it before you buy it. And here we're talking about the RAGE-1600.5. Now, I've seen some 5-channels in my days with good power. And if you can get anything even at 500 watts out of the sub, you're doing real good. But what's inside this box will get you 1100 watts out of the sub channel. Let's take a deep dive into this. So this is the RAGE-1600.5. It is a Class B. This thing comes with the goodies. Real nice bass knob. It is 2 ohm stable. And you can bridge actually the sub channel down at 4 ohms bridge to get the 1100. Let's open this thing up. Okay, we got a bunch of styrofoam, B2 Audio bass knob. Now, I won't call it B2 Audio. You've seen these out, but when you're getting something like that, you know you're getting something good because it has voltage, temp, clipping, and power. And then also, they have different Cat 5 cables. I believe this is the 10 pin. We get a manual, we get our Allen wrenches and some screws. Now, the first thing I noticed about this amp is that everything is on the bottom, which is kind of cool. Now, when you have your normal style where you have power and ground on one side, your speaker output on the other side, that works. But for a really clean install, or in this case, you're using 1 amp, really nice design to mount this amp like that. All your wires go under and clean install. Okay, let's do this. Let's turn on the Big Jeff cam.
Big Jeff cam activated.
Okay, let's take a look at this bad boy here. Tiffany style RCAs. You have channel 1 and 2. Let's see here. Low pass on and off or high pass. And then channel 3 and 4 are the same. On this side, you also have well, one, you have metal potentiometers, which is nice. And you have a gain control, subsonic, low pass, and then you have your phase control. And really cool, you have your power, clip, and protect light on the amp also. Now, definitely these are for sure 8 gauge, possibly some 4 gauge, but let's say 8 gauge output for your subs. And then 12 gauge for sure with some space on your mids and highs, and then solid 0 gauge outputs or inputs for the ground and the power and your turn on. Okay, really cool. So the way this works is you could use 1 input for the RCAs, or you could separate your channels here. I take that back. That was a blooper. I believe this is your input for your subwoofer, and then channel 1 and 2 on this side. I take that back. Okay, so as you can see, this is a very clean looking amp. All right, let's put the Big Jeff bass cam back. Let's get into some sizes here. I'm gonna have to break out the big one. Really cool about having our video and test room with all the goodies. Okay, space. Now, if you have a truck, which is very popular, and the Rage speakers, obviously you would still need probably a bigger amp. You could run one of those, no problem. But most of these amps are the same type of design, so you can run them side by side, just make like a long surfboard. But let's look at this real quick. And I'm gonna go, the amp itself is 6 inches, 6.11. Going with the actual terminals, you're a little over 7. Now, that's going to be too long there, so the amp itself is 15 3/4, but with the mounting legs, you're right at 17 inches that way. And the height of the amp is under 3 inches. It's like 2 3/4. So pretty good size amplifier overall. Now, let's break down the specs on this. At 4 ohm, you could do four 80 watt. So you can go 80 watts each at 4 ohm and then 350 watt out of the sub. 2 ohms, you can go 125 watts out of each channel and 600 watts out of the sub. Okay, let's take a look at the package here. See, different type sticker. This is actually a clear background, which is cool. So the B2 audio portion could be on glass or whatever, and that's clear. Then you're going to get your Allen wrenches, which fit for your power and, your power, and then looks like 2 different for speaker, because the sub output is a larger Allen wrench, and then your regular speaker. So you get all that in there, and some screws. The manual, which I know we're going to be doing updates to this. They are listing DB Drag Race certified, USAC, SQL, IASCA. Basically just means that their ratings meet those standards. Okay, so the RAGE-1600.5 at 1 ohm, this amp will give you 1100 watts out of the sub, and then you will then need to bridge the mids and highs, but when you bridge them, it's going to have to be at 4 ohm to get the 250. So that is a ton of power. Okay, 2 ohms left and right signal. That's where you're going to get your 125 watts per channel and then 600 watts out on the subwoofer. And at 4 ohms stereo, you're going to get 80 watts, and 4 ohms, this amp would produce 350 watts out of there. So obviously you're not going to run a 4 ohm subwoofer. I would recommend doing like a dual 2 ohm if you're doing one, but this has enough power to do 2, so you can do 2 dual 4s and get a 1 ohm load. Really cool. A lot of power out of a really small design. Okay, the other cool thing here I want to go over is that the 5th channel has crossover setting from 35 hertz to 250 hertz. So there's your sub band. And then the crossover settings for the mids and highs will get you 50 hertz all the way up to 5 kilohertz. So it'll play the full range of speakers. In the manual, it gives you a couple ways how to hook the amplifier up. Most of y'all have that figured out, but it is nice to have some type of instructions if you are new to this and you're not taking it to a shop. And I'm just looking here, 2-channel mode, 4 ohm bridged, etc., like we were talking about, and it gives you that setup. So that's what you get in there. Okay, so this amp is a true 5-channel with a ton of power. You can drop the subwoofer down to 1 ohm to get that 1100 watts. So you could run a beefy speaker or a set of speakers for sure out of this amp. It's beautiful. Let's do this. I'm going to crack her open. And I know everybody likes to take a look at the inside of things. So we're going to do that next. I'll be right back. Okay. That was a little bit of work. We had to loosen up the sides. Okay, now that we went through all that to get this opened up, I don't recommend doing it, but I'm gonna turn on the Big Jeff cam.
Big Jeff cam activated.
All right, so what we got here? I don't know. Looks like we got a bunch of capacitors, a whole rail here of, wow, that's probably where we're getting the power from. And then you have your, what they call a micro mini board. But you can see this thing is very clean. And different items like this, the processor, this is what makes the thing sound better than other amplifiers. Definitely feels like solid copper. It's very soft. This is a clean board. Now, understand when they do, I do know about this. Besides all the MOSFETs, that is how much power an amp will create. There is a ton here, which you would need to have for that 1100 watt output on the sub. But these boards, the processor, which is actually what makes this thing sound better. It can take noise out. Give you one more look there real quick. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's turn this off. So cheaper amplifiers don't put the time and money into the processing portion of it, and new, better ones do like this. They'll actually take noise out of your system and will make the sound much better. So there is a difference, and it doesn't have to be just Korea or China. It's the parts in it. So this is a very powerful and small footprint for a 5-channel, which will basically get you 250 watts times 2 4-ohm bridged and 1100 watts times 1 at 1 ohm, or you can run it multiple fashions, 4 ohm down to 2 ohm. So incredible. Okay, listen, this is the RAGE-1600.5. You want 1 amp to run a whole system, this is where you go. Check it out at BigJeffAudio.com and also B2 AudioUSA.com. You buy it there, you're going to get a free extended 2-year warranty, which is an awesome thing. So you're covered. I really enjoy looking at this because there's a lot of 5 channels out there, but don't have that much power out of the 5th channel, the subwoofer, and they're huge. This one isn't, so this is a great buy. Hey, leave a comment. Let me know what I did right, did wrong, what I could do different in the future. Definitely don't recommend you opening these things up. That's why you have that warranty to get it repaired. We are establishing a USA repair center too. Keep in mind, you have a nice bass knob, so if you're doing a one-off system with 1 amp, this is a great bass knob to use. And check us out, man. Thank you so much. I'm Big Jeff from B2 Audio USA. Okay, here we are. Got this thing hooked up. This is the RAGE-1600.5. Now, I like doing it this way. There is 2 massive audio Hippo XLs over here. It's wired up, if you can see by the Big Jeff cam, at 2 ohms right now. And technically this amp is supposed to produce 1100 watts at 1 ohm, but most of the B2 stuff, he doesn't like to call them smart amps. They're regulated amps, which means produce the power between 1 and 2 ohms. So this would be a perfect setup. Real life music. I'm about to turn it on and I'm gonna gain it. Hold on. Where's my screwdriver? Right here. Okay. So I'm gonna turn the gain down. I'm gonna keep this very simple and then bring the gain up. So let's get okay, here we go. Normal music. You can see the gauge starting to change. Now watch this. No tricks. Okay, so you can see already well over 1,000 watts and we're at 1.8 to 2 ohm. Incredible. Okay. This amp will do that power, no problem at all. And we don't have it on a static ohm load, which would produce even more power. This is standardized. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. Okay, so we were able to get a max of RMS, but a max on the SMD at 1780 watts, and it didn't clip out of the subwoofer output at 1.6 to 2 ohms. That is why you buy B2 audio amplifiers. It's not even about being underrated. It's about doing what they say they're gonna do, big time, with the regulated power supplies. Small amp, 5 channel, you can run a full system here. I'm Big Jeff from B2 Audio, man. Bam!